Steaks is
Hello, everybody.
burgers with an all-new handmade texture for the juiciest home-style
Stuff,
burgers.
yeah.
You see Paul come on, thanks for
Pure ground burgers are
Yeah, of course.
real aged Omaha steaks. These are truly steaks.
I always thank him for that.
he's a good guy.
Ribeye, New York strip, sirloin, and even brisket burgers. Now is the time to experience the exclusive Burger Perfection flight for just $79.99.
I'm not next Saturday. We can go on that train ride if you want.
Huh?
Next Saturday, I'm not doing anything. I'm going on a train
Are you
ride.
doing anything today?
Today?
Yeah.
No. I mean, what do you want to do? We don't get
Well,
out
I mean,
of-
I don't get out till 1.
That's what I'm saying. We're not gonna
Yeah,
get anything
so-
done.
Tender experience, making your mouth water.
We don't get out of here until 1 o'clock.
Unless you want to go explore Middleboro a little bit.
Promo code
I don't know if
TREAT
you
at
want.
checkout and get $20
You always
off
want a nap. You're like a little
Perfection flight.
infant.
No, it's just a little cold out. Hopefully it warms
I
up
think it's
today.
gonna warm up. I think it'll be a nice day today.
Yeah, hopefully it warms up today. Because,
Michael Cohen says he'll return to
It's
New
cold
York
today.
this coming
I gotta.
It's not that cold, but it's, definitely
I gotta
nice.
go look at a job in Whitman, and I gotta drop my tools off at the shop in East Bridgewater, and then I might meet Chris Reynolds for
by
breakfast.
falsely inflating and deflating the value of
Cool.
his assets
Yeah.
in order to lower taxes and receive better insurance coverage. Cohen previously
like,
testified in 2019.
Oh yeah, I gotta look at because I'll find that wood pile for Grandpa too.
And he
And go
provided
back around.
testimony to a House committee earlier this year about Trump's
Well,
involvement.
yeah, I'm here at 1, so I'm
Jeremy
not going
Scott.
anywhere.
Believe it or not, they are still out there.
I'll let you buy lunch.
Where?
New reports of UFOs.
It can't be that expensive, man. I'm like close to $1,000.
Well, I got $50.
It really can't be that expensive.
Well, I got that $50 from.
That's the office that leads the government's attempts to document and
Correct.
analyze UFO sightings.
I got that $60, $50 put away for the car. You can use that.
From
Deal with it.
military
Yeah.
service members,
I don't know.
commercial airlines.
I'm a little low on cash, unfortunately.
It'll just be a cheap date. That's all. We'll find a place that's.
That's
Yeah,
according to the
cheap.
National
We don't need a
Association
big
of
meal.
Realtors.
We don't need a big supper.
High mortgage rates squeeze the market. The group's chief economist blamed the
Get your
lack of
bag on
inventory
top.
and
How's
high
that for?
mortgage rates for hindering sales.
I'll be hungry.
Yeah, a nice fresh bagel
Something, yeah, well,
on the way out of here.
USA
It's fine.
News.
probably a breakfast sandwich would be a little bit better.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'll let you know.
That's all we need.
CGM. Plus,
I'm not gonna be looking at it. If I have breakfast with Chris, I'm not gonna be looking. I'm not
if you
gonna be.
test and inject daily.
I'll buy it.
I can make myself some hot dogs later if I get hungry, but breakfast sandwich is fine. Yeah, that's fine.
That's all. I mean,
Yeah, that's all we need.
we should just get out of the habit of eating out a lot and just make it a treat every once in a while.
Yeah.
McDonald's used to be a treat years ago when I was a kid. That's all it was.
Well, it kind of is. It kind of is a treat when it's good.
Yeah, it should be every day.
When it's
treat.
good.
Yeah, but a place wasn't meant to go every
Like last night was good. Like last night was really good.
no.
But like, it's not always good.
4 minutes, so keep an eye. I'll go like this when it's 10 past.
Yes. Good morning, Paul.
Paul,
Thank you for the note.
thank you for the notes. I love the little love brands you leave. They're awesome. Thank you.
News here on AM 1530 WBBS. Hey, Joey, what's happening?
To make sure my
I'm gonna keep an yeah. Here we go. I put the mics on. And good morning and welcome to Middleboro in Review. I'm Joey Driscoll. I'm joined by Don. Real quick, Don, how's it going?
good morning.
All right, that was quick. All right, Taunton weather. It is 50 degrees. It's going to be sunny skies when the sun rises today. 57 for the high today. 43 for the low. Sunny skies today. Driscoll, North Dakota. 42 degrees. Sunny skies when the sun rises in North Dakota. I don't know if the sun has risen in North Dakota.
No, not yet.
Probably not. No.
No. A couple more hours.
Yep, 65 degrees for the high, 37 for the low tonight. Driscoll, Texas, 70 degrees and foggy. A high of 91, Don.
Oh.
In October, a high of 91. Wow.
Yeah, this is Texas though.
Middleboro weather. 51 degrees, a high of 58 and a low of 43. Sunny skies when the sun rises. And our today in histories, doing them early today because we have a caller calling in just about 2 minutes. So we have our today in histories. 1947, the Kashmir conflict between India and Pakistan begins, having just started after the partition of India. Birthdays on this day: 1882, N.C. Wyeth, American painter and illustrator, from Needham, Massachusetts. He was born in Needham. An American painter and illustrator. He was a pupil of Howard Pyle and became one of America's most well-known illustrators. Wyeth created more than 3,000 paintings and illustrated 112 books, like some of the examples: Treasure Island and Robinson Crusoe. 1945, Leslie West's birthday is today. American singer, songwriter, and guitarist. He would have been 78 today, Leslie West. And Jeff Goldblum's birthday is today, 1952. He was born on this day in 1952. He was 71. Don, what was his first movie? Do you know what his first movie was?
Ghostbusters?
No, Death Wish.
Death Wish. The
Yes.
original Death Wish.
The original Death Wish.
1974.
Yeah.
With Charles Bronson.
With
That's
Charles
right.
Bronson.
We talked about
Yes.
that before. He was the bad guy,
He
right?
was one of the bad guys at the beginning of the movie. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Go watch the movie.
You sure that's his first movie?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
definitely go watch the movie. Really good movie. All right. That is our today in history.
That was
That's
quick,
our.
huh? You did good.
I told you I'd be pretty quick. with
I
that.
did. You did. You
So-
definitely impressed me. So,
Well, we wait for our guest, who is
calling 7:10.
calling in just a minute or so. Danny Harmon from the YouTube channel Distant Signals. Will be calling in just momentarily.
Yeah, we love having Danny on. He's a treasure trove of knowledge when it comes to rail fanning, and he is a no. Come on, Joe.
Okay,
Will you?
sorry about
Come on.
that.
Get your fat thumbs over there, will you?
Sorry about that. That's that happens.
Yeah,
Okay.
just that's all.
Trying to just figure stuff out over here.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Anyway,
Like I was saying before you blew my eardrum out, Danny's a treasure trove of knowledge of
yes,
railroads, and he's done some documentaries too. He did one documentary, and that was one, I believe. It's about a steam engine that was rebuilt, and there was one. I got to double check with him on that. So it's a great documentary. It's almost a 2-hour documentary, and he's professional narrating. So I mean, the guy definitely has the voice, the chops as far as
some of the recent videos he's done. He's done a video on Brightline, and Brightline just completed another portion of their project as well recently. And I've seen a lot of videos with that as well. I've seen there was a video I was watching yesterday about what was faster, Brightline trains from Orlando to Miami, and taking a plane from the same distance there, and it ended up being that I believe the planes were a little bit faster, but anyway, I don't know what's going on here. Danny is on the line. Good morning, Danny.
Good morning, you guys. How are you today?
I'm doing great today. How are you doing?
So far, so good. Having some great weather down here in Tampa Bay. Right now, it's 63 outside the house here and clear skies, and it's supposed to be this way all week long. So all that hot weather that we had, hot, dry weather that we had in July and August and September, we're finally getting paid back for it right now.
Yeah, you on your last video, you ditched the water bottles and got yourself a big container of water, a jug per se. So
I just got tired of buying all the darn water. You just do that out of habit and don't realize how much money you're spending, and not to mention all the trash you're generating. And I just got to thinking, well, if I just take some ice, because I've got those coolers like we used to do, and then just pour some water on top of that. I'll have water all day. And I bought that Igloo cooler off of Amazon. I couldn't really find it anyplace else, and that thing's just been great.
Well, that was the case years ago before water, bottled water. Not saying it wasn't invented, but years ago, everyone brought a cooler. No one had bottled water. I mean,
I
40.
used to see the city and county road workers, and they would have those trucks, and on the front bumper of the truck, they'd have a big steel bracket that held a big steel Igloo cooler. Now, in those days, Igloo coolers were solid steel. They weren't plastic like they are now. And I always thought how cool that would be just to have a drink of ice water, whatever you wanted.
Yeah.
Loading 60 years later, I got one for myself.
Well, you know what? You did mention that in the video, and I know the Florida, especially down Texas way or whatever, has been really hot. So I think rail fanning must have been really challenging. You did mention get a few videos out this summer, but and plus whatever. I mean, you in a situation where you got to find new ideas for your videos, so you really got to start thinking outside the box as far as new videos.
Yeah, I had a really busy summer work-wise, and with some other stuff, projects here at the house, and I just was not able to get out like I used to do. I mean, back in the old days, I used to be out every Sunday morning, for half the day. And, I just can't do it anymore. I just don't have the time.
Right.
And it's just a little tougher.
You know what?
Not to mention it being so blasted hot this summer.
Yeah, but I mean, my thinking is, even if you put one out once a month or once every 2 months, it's just, it's just like still. I mean, sometimes it's better to wait for something that's really good. And your videos are good. That last video you did on switches, really interesting video. A lot of people don't know much about switching and interlockings and stuff like this. The Northeast is full of interlockings up here, so
Definitely.
Every time you turn around, there's an interlocking, especially on the passenger railroad systems in New York and Boston and whatnot. So, and the Northeast Corridor too is pretty impressive.
That was really an interesting one because I just did that based on a question the guy had, and it's something I've never even given any real thought to. So I had to do a lot of research for that video. So I shot that. I started shooting all that stuff, and assembled the video after doing a lot of research and asking some railroad friends, who are in the industry about that stuff, and what does that mean? What is an interlocker? What is a diamond? What involves that? Who controls the diamond? Who says who controls that? All that stuff. And the most interesting feedback that I got after that video was from overseas, from the people in the UK and Germany in particular. They don't have any of those things. They don't have any diamonds or crossings at grade like we have over here. The one guy said that as far as he knows, Germany, the railroad system in Germany has one diamond somewhere. I can't remember where he said it was. And it's because their railroad networks over there are so well planned, and of course they're very well financed because most all of them are government owned.
Right. Yeah. But
but they just didn't have any of those things. So a lot of those guys, and Australia too, Australia's got some really wacky kind. If I ever get down there, I'm going to do a video just on diamonds there. They've got movable diamonds that actually flip up off of the tracks and get out of the way. It's crazy what the kind of diamonds they have down there.
Yeah, I'm looking at your diamond numbers here on your who controls railroad diamonds. People are interested in the diamonds. 218K, and then and the switch video 102.
The switches has been pretty popular too. And another thing, I went down to this yard that's right in the middle of downtown Tampa. There's this part of town that's gentrifying really fast. It's on the downtown channels, the port stuff down there, and it's all that stuff that used to be really heavy industrial, and it's all turned to condos and coffee shops and the like. But this yard was still down there because we had a flour mill that was down there, and they just wouldn't shut that thing down, because it had been there for probably 80 years. And this one yard was serving it. Well, they finally, made a deal to get that flour mill out of town. They built a huge new one south of town down there. And so I went in there after they had abandoned this yard, and they cut the lead going into the yard, so there couldn't possibly be any traffic in there. So one Saturday, I just went in there and stomped around and shot switches for like 3 hours, up close, and you don't have to worry about it because there can't ever possibly be a train in there. So I went and shot those switches, and lo, 3 weeks later, they brought crews in and pulled that whole yard out. It's gone now.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's pretty good because you're not really trespassing, and you can go in there and you got pretty much right in there. You showed it how the diamonds work, and those are older diamonds too. I mean, what do you think those tracks were put in?
I really don't like to trespass. I really don't like to get on railroad property because it's such a bad example, and B, it's dangerous. But this was kind of a special case. This down Old Tampa Yard downtown. It had been purchased by the state of Florida about 20 years ago because of this shotgun deal with the state and CSX. The state needed some right-of-way to build an expressway over the throat of the yard there, and CSX, well, sure, we'll sell you the land, but you got to buy the whole yard because we don't want this yard anymore. So the state had owned that yard for 20 years. So I figured it's state property, so it kind of belongs to me as a state taxpayer. So I'm not really trespassing down there.
Well, in my opinion, if you're not driving by, if you're not walking past a million no trespassing signs, it's a fair game. I think.
Definitely no trespassing signs.
Then
There's
it should be all right.
definitely no trespassing signs down there. So I thought it was in good shape. It wasn't a dangerous place anyway. No holes or ditches or anything like that. So it was a very safe place.
Now, it was a good perspective, Danny. I really thought that was good thinking. I was thinking outside the box there, and that was a good video because you got to try to reinvent your videos every time because you have so much. And I don't think you want to do repeat videos. So I mean, it must be.
I don't like to do repeat videos, even though I'm working on one right now. I'm working on a Brightline video. I was invited to ride the inaugural train from Orlando to Miami back in September, and so my wife and I were there we didn't ride the actual inaugural train that left at like 6:40 in the morning. That was a little too early for us, so we rode the second one. And so we rode from Orlando to Miami and back in the same day. And I'm working on a video right now. I'm right in the middle of the edit of it actually this morning. And going to have that out in a couple of days. And it's got a lot of the same Brightline stuff that you saw on the first video. A few additional things, including the Orlando station, which is just incredible. I'm telling you, this Brightline thing between the Florida service and what they're doing in Las Vegas, between Vegas and Los Angeles, I really feel in my gut that it's going to revolutionize rail travel in this country.
Yeah, because Amtrak's all right, but it's, and I'm not knocking the people who work for Amtrak, but it's not really the most professional. Yeah, I mean, I've worked.
I don't knock Amtrak, and I'll tell you why. Because those guys have lived their whole existence between a rock and a hard place.
Right.
They're a government agency. I know. They say, well, we're not a government agency. But they're funded by the government almost fully. So either the federal government or the state government. So they've got that problem on one end,
right.
And on the other end. They are almost entirely, with the exception of the Northeast Corridor, of course, but when you get out in the long-distance rail, long intercity passenger service, in the rest of the country, they are on other people's tracks everywhere. And, the freight railroads even though they all have Amtrak, departments that are liaison with Amtrak, and they try to be nice with them and everything, they don't like having passenger service on their rails out there. They just don't, because it's a tough fit when your whole railroad network is designed for freight rail, and especially in the east like we have here, with so much congestion, so many road crossings, so many cities that are encroaching on rail yards and the like, to also accommodate passenger service. I just feel, I feel that it's been tough for Amtrak to make a go of it. So I really applaud what they have done, with what they've had to use, because they've really been, a Jones and a Smith's family reunion this whole time, because
That's a good.
they just don't. They've got no friends. They get their money from the federal government, and the airlines are opposed to that. And of course you have conservative members of the legislature that don't want to fund them, because they're a government funded transportation company that's in competition with private transportation companies, mainly the airlines, and they've just been in a hard place, and so it's not a good system. At least the European railroads, at least they just said, to heck with it, we'll just fund this by the government, and that'll be that. And consequently, they have some of the nicest passenger service on the planet over there.
Right.
And I don't even know what the Chinese and the Japanese have over there. Those trains just go like 300 miles an hour up there. So, it's a whole different thing. But I think that the Brightline people have figured out a way to make a privately funded passenger service. And of course, they've got some real estate, ambition in there too. And it's not all just carrying people. There's real estate ambition in there too. There always is.
It's like Flagler almost. It's like a repeat of Flagler. He had his hotels, and he built them along the line, and but it's sort of like history repeat itself in a way. I don't know.
Absolutely. I mean, the absolute pioneer of that stuff was Carnegie and Vanderbilt. I mean, those guys with the New York Central and the Pennsylvania railroads, they got these massive government grants to build those lines, because the federal government said, hey, we need railroads, so they gave them all this land, and they built their railroads, sure, but they also leased out their land grants to businesses, along the line, in order to get business for the railroad and in order to sell land. So there's always been that extra real estate factor with it, working. If you look along any major railroad in the country that's still, in business and thriving, I guess that'd be the big four, the big five, and maybe even the big six now with the what is it, the CPKC now. But anyway, those corridors all had industry up and down them. And that didn't happen by accident. Those railroads, they brought those guys in. But the Brightline thing, they've done a kind of a different way, and they're building all this infrastructure with what they call like they call mixed use buildings, condos and shops and things like that are along the way all down the eastern coast, the FEC right of way down there in on the in southeast Florida. So I don't know. I'm just an observer, but so far so good for those guys.
All right, it is 7:27 a.m. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with Danny Harmon of the Distant Signal YouTube channel. When we come back, we're talk a little bit about Brightline when it comes to the experience what the passenger would expect with Brightline. I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube about Brightline and the experience, and the vast majority of them are all positive.
And I also want to pick your brain, Danny, thinking where they're going to have stops in between Orlando and West Palm Beach, because they're going to be building stations in between, because that's a pretty long gap.
Okay, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back here on Middleboro in Review on 1530 AM, 99.7 FM, WVBF.
How much time is in this break, guys?
About 3 minutes.
Okay, I need to walk outside here and turn off one sprinkler and turn on another.
How was your cheeseburgers last night?
Cheeseburgers were really good last night. Like, really, really good last night. I wonder if they're redoing the outside of the that McDonald's in Middleboro. That's why it's closed.
Probably, yeah, they probably are. Probably gonna do the foyers and the yeah.
Yeah.
They move pretty quick, those guys. Though.
Oh no, they definitely
fly.
they have to.
They fly.
They
can't-
kinda have to.
Yeah, they can't.
They can't mess around.
Those restaurants can't be down. For
No,
2
no,
months.
no.
Too much money.
I'm sure that one could, but
Right.
because it has the backing. I don't know. It might be. I think it's a
That's
franchise.
No, that's corporate.
Sorry, yeah, I think that's corporate.
Yeah, it's corporate.
So it has the backing of
The one in
actual-
Carver is franchise. That's
Yes.
the B.
that is like that. If that goes down,
Those people, that franchise, B's there.
Yeah.
They have like maybe 6 of them.
Oh wow.
Spot on. This place is clean.
I know.
It's just
No, they
they're
are.
on top of their people.
Yes.
They put out a good product.
Yeah, they do.
You know what I mean?
They do. Yeah, the franchise, the corporate ones, they're all right.
Yeah.
The Raynham one's a corporate one. I think. Ugh. The Middleboro one is so much better.
Ugh, that Rhino was terrible.
Yeah, that Raynham one's not good, but the Middleboro one's really good. I don't know. Makes no sense. It's like they put more resources into certain places when it comes to the corporate ones.
Taunton only has technically 1.
Taunton, yeah.
Only 1 up
Yeah.
in 44.
Yes.
Rams got 2. And then
Rams too, yeah. Yeah.
You guys got me again here?
Yes. Get your sprinkler situation taken care of.
Yeah, I don't have an automatic sprinkler. I've never put one of those things in, so I have to go out and actually physically turn one zone off and one zone on. So,
That's all right. It's like the remote control thing.
next day, I need to water my lawn.
Yeah. Still dry out down there?
Well, we had a little patch of rain here week before last. It rained pretty good.
Ready, Joey?
Haven't had any since then, and there's none of the forecast this week.
All right.
Okay, we're getting back on air.
Yep, we're gonna be getting back on air right about now. 3, 2, 1, and 0. And we're back as I turn the music down. There we go. And we're back here with Danny Harmon of the Distant Signal YouTube channel. So, right before the break, we said we were going to talk a little bit more about Brightline and some of the experiences of Brightline. Danny, on your 2 trips so far with Brightline, I know you did one earlier on.
But that was before Orlando opened.
Before Orlando opened. And then you did the Orlando to Miami trip recently as well. On your 2 trips, what was your experience with Brightline?
Just like the first time, I rode it the first time in May. I did a trip from Boca Raton to Miami and back, and then back up to West Palm Beach. You know, just a riding trip, not really going anywhere, and it was just fabulous. And then this trip, of course, this is a VIP trip. You know, they had a lot of media on this run. You know, a lot of dignitaries, as I call them, and you know, government types. So they really put on the dog for this one. They had either 1 or 2 of their train sets wrapped in a whole Orlando theme. I mean, they had the entire train wrapped with an Orlando theme, you know, artwork on it, and it was a big show. And the folks at the Orlando airport all turned out, and you know, there were airport workers out there on the platform waving goodbye to everybody, and they had, you know, cookies and all kinds of stuff they were handed out to people. So it was a really nice show. But the service itself was still exemplary. Of course, we rode the premium service, which it's pricey, but even the smart service, what they call the comfortable business class, it's smart, you know, or you know, service all the way through. Really, just very, very well done. You know, the train sets are still, you know, brand new and very clean, and really, these are Siemens train sets, and just really well designed and stuff. It's like nothing you've seen. Now, I haven't ridden the Sella, so I can't compare that. But as far as my experience here, just a really nice ride, nice food. They serve you food both ways, snacks and drinks all the way down. They have outlets, electric outlets, and USB outlets just about everywhere you could turn on these things. In front of you, in the seat beside you, in these little pop-up things. If you're sitting in a table seat, they have these little pop-up things that will have an electric outlet in it and a USB charger. I mean, if you bring gadgets with you, you can keep them charged all the way. Now, I believe, I didn't take advantage of it because I don't use public Wi-Fi, but I believe they have Wi-Fi all the way down on board Brightline.
I believe they do, yes. From what I've seen on other videos, but yeah, I believe they definitely do.
Hey, Danny, do you have any indication of where they're going to be putting some intermediate stations in between West Palm Beach and Orlando? Any idea where they get?
Well, I think they're going to put one in Melbourne, and I think they're going to have one in. I may be speaking out of turn here, but I think they're going to have one in Jupiter as well. You know, they had quite a bit of pushback down there during the building of this thing from a lot of factions on what they call the Treasure Coast down there, from people that just didn't want the train service there, didn't want passenger trains going through there, and for the life of me, I can't figure out why. But they thought it was going to be dangerous and noisy and upset their lifestyle and you know, all that whole stuff. So I have heard that they're going to have a station in Melbourne, and I think possibly Fort Pierce, maybe Stewart. You know, I don't know. I don't know what particulars that they have ironed out yet. But you know, those some of those communities there, they were pretty virulent against Brightline in there. So I'm not sure if they've mended those fences down there yet or not. But Right now, it's from West Palm. It's a straight shot north to Cocoa, and then a straight shot to Orlando. So,
Yeah.
it's a nice ride, and you know, the only thing that I noticed, my only knock on Brightline, it really is not their fault. You know, the bad press that they've gotten, of course, are all the accidents that they've had, all the grade crossing accidents, and the trespasser strikes that they've had, which are just horrible. But you know, they haven't yet, I'll say, been able to change the culture down there when you get into those urban areas of people walking on the darn railroad tracks. And you know, when you're walking on railroad tracks and you've got ear pods in, you know, or those big Dr. Dre headphones, and a train comes up on you at 80 miles an hour, it's not going to be a good thing. So
Yeah.
they've had those problems, and because of that, because of PTC, and this is just my supposition. I think PTC at a lot of at all of their grade crossing locations, they've got sensors that can tell if something's on the crossing, like a vehicle, and I believe, or even a person. And if PTC senses that, you know, if that sensor sends a signal to the PTC system, it will stop an approaching train. And it does it in a pretty dramatic way, and it happened to us twice on our trip down there back in September. It just slams the brakes on. And I think in the car that we rode in, it had a flat wheel. And that was a little bit annoying, you know, until we got up to the really high speeds. But I think that's the result of all of those panic stops that they have been having to make down there. So
I feel the more they do, the better they'll iron it out. I mean, they've been running that stretch between Miami and West Palm Beach for a few years. So I'm sure now with the trains running on a frequent basis, I think maybe the people will start waking up a little bit. But I mean, there's no excuse for walking on the tracks. I mean, and
well, you know that, and I know that, but you know, a lot of those people down there, that's just what they've been doing for decades. You know, using the tracks as a corridor to get from one part of the neighborhood or one part of town to the next, and it hasn't been a big deal because it's, you know, all freight traffic, and with the FEC, most of the freight traffic is at night, so, you know, it's not a big deal. But now you got all this daylight traffic up there with Brightline, and Brightline train coming through every hour, and they don't go slow. They are just hauling buggy up through there.
well, but they should. They should. I mean, no one wants a slow train. And
No, but you gotta really.
You there?
area
Up there you go.
with hay, you know, and they've got really big warnings.
hey, Danny, you're coming in and out a little bit. I'm not sure
little bit.
where your location is in the house.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Hopefully, I'm not losing my signal here.
That's better. That's better.
Yeah.
You probably reached over to get a cup of coffee.
No, I've been sitting right here and doing the phone.
In the corner, you know, standing in the corner, not moving, you know.
Hey, Danny, quick detour here. We've talked about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here a couple of times. You've been on the show several Super Bowl Sundays now. What are your thoughts about the Tampa Bay Rays announcing that they're gonna have a new stadium ready by opening day? Ooh. You there?
Oh, I think we lost
Might have
him.
lost him.
Yeah, he'll call back.
So he'll call back in a second.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask Danny what his thoughts on the Tampa Bay Rays just a couple of weeks ago. This is Danny here. Hey, good morning, Danny. Welcome back.
I'm sorry about that, guys. It just went away.
The Minions.
I don't know what was going on there.
The Minions.
All
So
the Minions.
what I was asking before the Minions took over was the Tampa Bay Rays have announced that there's going to be... 1 second here. Okay. Try this again here. Sorry, Danny. All right. The Tampa Bay... Hold on. I don't know what's going on. Okay, the Tampa Bay Rays have announced that there's going to be a new stadium that they are building, and it's going to be ready by opening day 2028. Danny, what's your quick thoughts on that? That's pretty big news for the Tampa Bay Rays and the city of Tampa.
I'm very happy for them. You know, that's been a big controversy here in the whole Tampa Bay area. There's been a big faction for the past 2 years that have been trying to move those guys over to Tampa. You know, they're in downtown St. Pete and have been since the beginning of the franchise because they built the stadium before they even had a baseball team down there. So there was a faction in Tampa that wanted to get them over there. You know, the thinking was that Tampa was the bigger city. It had more, and it was more centrally located, Tampa is. That if we can build them a stadium over here on this side of the bay, that they would have more fans, they would get a better turnout, and they would do better. They just couldn't find a place to do it. And Tampa is filling up so fast, and the construction here, just like all over Florida, is nuts right now. I mean, it's just still red hot. So they couldn't find a place that was suitable. So all this time, the St. Pete leaders were working behind the scenes and coming up with a deal, and they came up with just a sweetheart deal. You know, where Tropicana Field is down on the south side of St. Petersburg, huge piece of property down there. They had room for the stadium and a ginormous parking lot down there. I mean, I think this parking lot must be 10, 15 acres. So it's a big old parking lot. So what they're going to do is right in the parking lot, they're going to build a new stadium, brand new stadium, and then they're going to build a parking lot next door to it, where the old stadium is. You know, and I'm sure it'll be parking garage and, you know, better use of this stuff. And a lot of the problems that exist with Tropicana Field now, because a lot of teams don't like playing in Tropicana Field for a number of reasons, and one is the height of the dome. A lot of batters can hit the ceiling with that field very easily, and they don't like it. And so they're going to hopefully fix a lot of those problems. And I believe I may be speaking out of turn here, but I believe it's going to have a retractable roof.
Yeah, a lot of the stadiums now, that's the direction they're going to be going in. A lot of these teams, I know Buffalo is creating a new stadium as well. I'm not sure. I don't know if they're going to have a retractable roof in Buffalo. I don't think that's going to be. You never know, but I don't think so, because Buffalo could get kind of cold in the winter. So
you know, I think that's the sad part about professional football is they're all going inside these covered stadiums now, and that used to be one of the big visual appeals. Watching those guys in Green Bay and Buffalo and even Philly and New England, you know, watch playing in those real big snowfalls, you know, in the middle of winter. That was really fun to watch. But I guess that's
you know what they're thinking. You know what they're thinking, Danny. They're thinking about the audience. The more people will go, but I mean, because they're making it more comfortable for the audience members, for the people who see the show. I mean, that's all it's about.
I don't begrudge any of those folks that, because down here it's exactly the opposite. Watching a baseball game at an open stadium in July in Tampa Bay is just unthinkable. I mean, you get the daytime sun down on you, and you get 100-degree temperatures in there. You're just not going to do it.
a good friend of ours treated us to the Pittsburgh Pirates. We went and visited my friend Billy out in Western PA, and it was hot in Pittsburgh. On June, it was June 7th, I think it was, of last year. It was hot.
June 6th or 7th. Yes.
We all got cooked. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was beautiful.
Summertime, you know, it's supposed to be hot.
Yeah.
PNG Park is beautiful. PNG Park in Pittsburgh is a beautiful, beautiful
And
stadium.
you want to see some trains? Go to Pittsburgh. Oh my God!
Yes.
That's all I saw is trains.
I went through there a few years ago, and I only was able to spend a half a day there. But I said, you know, I got to get back up here.
Oh, Pittsburgh is unbelievable. There's trains everywhere. Everywhere you look, and plus the light rail is pretty cool.
The light rail is really cool.
Yeah.
All right, it is 7:48. We're going to take our last commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to finish up with Danny. We're going to talk about, we're going to ask him what's coming up for his channel, the remaining 2 months of the year. And then, Don might have another question or two as well. So we'll take our last commercial break right now, and we'll be right back here on Middleboro Review on 1530 AM, 99.7 FM, WVBF. All right. There we go.
So, Danny, you think what this week on that video?
Yeah, I'm hoping to. I've set a deadline for myself because this thing is just going on and on. I keep getting emails from the Brightline people. When are you going to have this ready for it?
Oh, really? Really?
Really?
So Brightline is kind of in cahoots with you on this one?
Okay, yeah.
I said Brightline knows you're doing it and stuff. Yeah, really?
Oh yeah, I rode. Liz and I rode on a Brightline VIP ticket.
Yeah, right.
Down there.
Oh, so you mentioned that you got to do a video, and they were all anxious. Well, obviously, it's like.
And the whole train when we rode was just absolutely loaded with social media influencers. I mean, you can spot them wherever, you know, because they all have their iPhones and their gimbals.
Yeah, I follow a couple.
And, you know, everything, and they're just loaded down with gadgetry.
Yeah, I follow a couple and on the Brightline thing. I'm really looking forward to yours because it's just you do it. I mean, I'm not knocking. I like all the stuff that's out there. Believe me, I watch it. It's fun, but like I said, I can't stress this enough. You put it to a different level. You put it to a professional level that you don't waver from that at all. And obviously, if the people at Brightline know you, obviously they do know you. Obviously, that's pretty good. It's like I love the band Rush, okay, and NASA had them do a video under their name. It's a song called Countdown. Okay, it's about the first Columbia launch in 1981. And okay, well, if you type in that on YouTube, there's a NASA channel. It's NASA approved doing that song, and it just shows the space shuttle. Doesn't show the band. The band has its own video, but it just goes to show that NASA hold it in such high regard that they said, go ahead, we're going to put your song and we'll put our name on it. Sounds like Brightline is doing the same with you. They probably look at everyone who did something and they kind of foaming at the mouth to get you to get it out. That must be pretty good. That must be a badge of honor, in my opinion.
Well, that may be the case, but I'll tell you, there's a couple of guys who do travel videos, I guess, with, you know, for lack of a better word. They just do incredible work, and it shows with the number of views that they get.
Right.
And it's, you know, are you familiar with Jeb Brooks?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
I mean, it's just nothing for him to put up a new video, and he'll have 500,000 views in 24 hours.
Yeah, that's probably his work, though. You work full time, so I mean, it's just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like him, you know.
He does great stuff. And there's another kid that did a Brightline video where he left Miami and rode Brightline to West Palm and then got on Amtrak and rode Amtrak to New York.
Yeah.
Somehow got to Chicago from there. I can't think of the guy's name off the top of my head.
Yeah.
It's incredible too. Just really well done videos. Not just schlocky YouTube guys, you know, but really well produced, well thought out, and videos that are full of information.
All right.
And,
3 seconds, Joey, right?
Yep, here we go. 3, 2, 1, and 0. And we are back as I turn the music down. There we go.
Listen to you, back.
Quick reminder that Taunton versus Milford will take place on Thanksgiving Day. You'll hear it live here on WVBF 1530 AM. It's going to be a great game. It'll be in Milford this time. Taunton will be traveling down to Milford. Middleboro will be traveling to Carver for their Thanksgiving game. Quick question for Danny before we switch over to what he's doing for the remainder of 2023 with his YouTube channel. Danny, in your area, what are some of the big high school football Thanksgiving Day games that everyone likes to go out and see?
I'm not sure if they play on Thanksgiving or not, but of course the Plant High Panthers are really big. They were state champions for several years in a row. And Armwood High School, which is out in eastern Hillsborough County here in Tampa, they're also a big football powerhouse, and that's a big one. Lakeland, those guys they have a big game over there right around that same time. Lakeland, and the name is slipping me, I can't remember the mascot, but they're very big. Clearwater High Tornadoes, they're also a really, really good team. That's just a couple of them.
Okay. We have about 5 minutes left here in the show. So what is coming up for Distant Signals here in the remainder 8 weeks or so of the year? I can't believe we're almost towards the end of the year now.
Going quick. Right now, I am actually physically sitting in front of my iMac working on my Brightline video. Right now, I'm trying desperately to get this thing done within the next 24 to 48 hours. So I really hope to have it posted by either tomorrow or tomorrow night. So that's next. I shot a video last weekend where I shot a bunch of trains around Tampa, Lakeland, Plant City, and Auburndale. I got a question from a viewer asking what are subdivisions and divisions and districts. And this is one of the things that I've kind of drifted into, is getting viewer questions from people who are new rail fans. And it's really provided a whole new kind of avenue for video to me that's kind of become popular with some viewers, is answering these basic questions about rail fanning, and how railroads operate and some of the terminology that, when you first get into the hobby, you don't know what this stuff is and what's meant by it. So it's been kind of fun just doing this stuff that I can do, and so that's going to be the next one, is what are districts, subdivisions, and divisions? What's meant by that? So I'm right now, and the biggest challenge to that is not actually getting the information together, it's just illustrating it with video. I don't like to use old video. I don't like to use library or what we call file video in the TV news business. I like to shoot new stuff for every video, so it's a little time consuming, but that's going to be the next thing, and I'm really working hard to get that out in the next couple of weeks. So I want to try to pick up the pace here at the Distant Signal corporate conglomerate here in Tampa.
That's all right. We're sitting at the VBF studios, the center of the universe here at 14 Church Green in Taunton. So we feel pretty special too here. Hey, Danny, you did mention sort of in your lingo that those signals along the railroad are like the Christmas lights in a way, and I think you've said that in a video, or maybe mentioned something like that, or maybe gestured something like that. But every time I see a signal now, I think of Christmas lights. I just think of those because you can see them so far. You got those big, you got the big towers now, and they're really pretty to look at. I guess they're better when they're green. I guess.
And it's always been interesting because they display, unlike street traffic lights, they display reds and greens at the same time, and sometimes you see a red and a green and a yellow in there, and a white, and once in a while there'll be a blue one. So they do really replicate, in a lot of ways, Christmas lights. So that's one of the things that's always been attractive to me about them is why, they're really so cool looking, and what do they mean? So that's when I did that whole series on CSX signals. It's been almost 10 years ago now, but
yeah, that was really
whole series. I did 6 parts on that.
Yeah,
and that was another viewer question. Can you do a series on what the signals mean? So I did that, and I've had 2 CSX employees who are now, one's a yard master at a major yard on the system, and one is a conductor. And they told me just recently, they said, I studied for my CSX conductor test by using your videos on signals. And I went, wow, well, okay, well, I hope it was all correct. And they said, yeah, they all passed, and they learned it easily by using my videos. So that was like one of the best compliments I've ever had.
That's how I learned how to get my CDL license through a video situation. I had to take all these series of tests to get my license, and the video thing worked better. I mean, I'm a pretty good reader. I like to read, but the whole video, the whole eye thing.
I'm the same way. The video is so much easier. It's how I learned to fly a drone. Is with videos, and how I learned to cook a good steak.
Okay.
By watching Gordon Ramsay's videos on YouTube.
Oh, the steak and your son Robert made up there next to the tracks, that was awesome. Hey, one thing, because I am a viewer, I'm a very faithful viewer for almost about 5-6 years now. Dead ends. I think we talked about when we talked last week. I like the idea of the end of the track, end of the line kind of things, and I know. In Tampa, you do have that because the S line, I think it's the S line, or one of them ends. Something ends over where you guys. Maybe
it's all of them because we've got water on our west side, so all these things come down this way, and we've got several ends of the line here. They got a big one in Miami where the whole seaboard ends, the whole FEC ends. Those are ends of the line. So there are a lot of those places. So per your suggestion, I'm going to work on a video devoted just to that, ends of the line.
Just for Dawn? You got to give me a mention? You got to give me a mention, too? I'm looking for a mention, I just, we always
Absolutely. I don't do these things without gratitude.
Hey, so it ends pretty much. So there isn't no tracks like in Naples or Sarasota or something like that, or are there? I mean, I know the tracks go in the middle of the state.
Sarasota's got a remnant of the Seaboard airline down there. That's the Seminole Gulf. Fort Myers has a remnant of the Atlantic coastline down there. That's not the Seminole Gulf. Naples has nothing. There's nothing down really other than that. All of the U.S. sugar stuff that's in the Everglades and down around Clewiston, that's all ex-Atlantic coastline stuff. There's a little bit of seaboard in there.
Yeah.
That's all ex-Atlantic coastline trackage down there. But
no, I mean the whole idea of like the end of the lines in Western Florida and Naples never having rail is fascinating. But Joey's giving it here.
We definitely have to go. So we have 20 seconds. Tell the viewers how they can get a hold of you and how they can watch you.
Well, you can watch me on youtube.com/distant signal. You can contact me on the comment section. You can contact me at willfanddanny@gmail.com.
All right, and that will do it for today's program.
Yeah, thanks, Danny.
Thank you so much.
Can you stay on the line after talk to you real quick, sir?
Sure.
All right, yeah.
Okay, so bye-bye, everybody. Have a great rest of your Sunday. Go Patriots.
Yeah.
I guess.
Okay.
Go Bills.
Yeah, go Bills.
Anyway, that'll do it for today's program.
Thank you, Danny.
Yeah, we'll be back next week.
Thank you for calling, Danny. What a great interview.
Oh, you're welcome. That was fun. I always enjoyed talking to you guys.
Yeah. When do you think maybe, I don't know, 3 months is the Super Bowl call, so you want to shoot for that?
Sure, you'll have to remind me, but
Unless you want to call in December or earlier than that. I mean, I know your weekends are busy, and I don't want to, every weekend's probably not good. But if you want to do it earlier, and maybe you want to around Christmas, you want to shoot for around Christmas too. I don't know. What do you think?
okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's think about that.
Okay. Sure. You know what I mean? So I'll call you in a month. I mean, just touch base if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just probably I don't know what's the around Thanksgiving, the Friday before Thanksgiving, or the Friday after, or whatever. I'll just call you at the same time and whatever. If you got any questions for me about what's up here, Joey and I probably gonna be doing some rail fanning and dropping some videos hopefully soon.
Yeah, very soon.
I've been working a lot of Saturdays, so my Saturdays are freeing up now, so we'll be able to get some video out.
Actually, I have material already filmed that I could.
Yeah, but I mean,
Put it in there, but I'm not
the
sure
thing
yet.
is, I mean, we're gonna
look at it.
We're gonna do some new video, and we're gonna just do sections of the commuter rail spots, and we're gonna drop them, and then you can look at them over the course of the next 2 or 3 months, and it'll be vantage points of where I might want to take you. So you might have your favorites.
I do want to start talking seriously about a visit up there with you guys. So
Oh, okay.
hopefully we'll be doing that soon.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, that works. And I might be coming down for a weekend in December to visit my sister. She lives in Holiday, so if you're around, maybe we can get a cup of coffee or something.
Let me know when you're coming, and let me see if we can work that out. That'd be great.
Yeah, just a quick cup of coffee. Even if it's a half-hour visit, that'd be fine. I'll come out to you. You know what I'm saying? All right, Danny. Thanks for calling. I can't wait for the video, but dead ends. I'm telling you, it's just I love the idea that the end of the line. It's awesome. You know what I mean?
It's a great idea. That's a lot of fun. Plus, I like getting out into those places. Now, that's the neat part about that. Those concepts of this thing, they're not interesting to everyone.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, almost rarely do you have any actual train traffic on those places.
Yeah, no, you'd be lucky to see.
Still, and if I can get access to some old photographs from old rail fans, I've got
The opinions expressed on this program
Yeah.
are those of the host and do not
Yeah.
express the views of WBBF ownership or
Yeah.
Hometown Talk Radio. Content
Right.
aired on
Yeah.
all programs are those of the
I
host
hear
and
you.
their guests.
All right, well, I'll call you in about a month. I'll call you in about a month or so. What's today? Yeah, I'll call you like the Friday before Thanksgiving or whatever. All right.
that sounds good.
Oh, Friday after Thanksgiving. You get that day off from work?
Yeah.
Okay, you'll be out and about. So
Sometimes I'm out.
yeah, you'll be out and about.
Rail fanning. It depends on what's going on.
Tell you what, I'll call you the Friday.
Family we got in town.
I'll call you the Friday before it, about 3.5 weeks. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thanks for calling.
See you guys later. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you. Bye. All right, I can go. Gonna make my rounds. That was a great video. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I love that guy.
All right, bye-bye, everybody.